Time now for weather with Nebraska Extension Ag Climatologist and Market Journal Chief Meteorologist Al Dutcher. Al, Thanksgiving only a few days away, and I'm sure many folks out there are thankful for this wonderful weather. What's the rest of the month look like?
Well, Troy, we can't complain. We had a really nice week in terms of temperatures. In fact, we've seen widespread 70s during the heart of the week, and unfortunately we had to deal with some wind. But at this time of the year, you can't complain with those temperatures. Now, as we go forward in time, things get a little bit more interesting as we do have a system that was projected to come out this weekend and give us good precipitation. That held all the way through the middle of the week. And then the model started to diverge, basically weakening that system and keeping it south of us, and yet starting to show a secondary system moving into our region as we go into Monday and Tuesday. So there's a lot of uncertainty as we go forward in time, but overall it still looks like there's a precipitation event, at least for the eastern half of the state. And we really don't tap any Arctic air yet. It is pooling up in the eastern portions of Alaska and the Yukon Territory. At some point it will release. Right now, enjoy the weather. At this time of the year, you can't complain when we're not sub-zero. It just makes winter that much shorter when we don't have to deal with these excessively warm temperatures. So let's take a look at the upper air pattern, and what we will notice is we have a general broad trough. Cool air is working into our region. There's really no lifting mechanism. It looks like it's not going to get any good moisture until it pushes to the south of the state. So overall, we're looking at basically nothing in the way of significant moisture in our region for today. Most of it that develops will be south of the state. If there's an outside chance, it'll be in southeastern Nebraska where we'll see the precipitation. We do see some reinforcing cool air across eastern Nebraska as we go into tomorrow. It looks like temperature will remain pretty consistent in the 40s. We're dealing with high pressure that's moving in. Nothing in the way of precipitation. Most of it remains to the south and east of us. That's where the most concentrated moisture will be for this system. But as we go into Monday, we start to see the second trough starting to develop to our west. And that's going to start to increase the flow at the surface. Low pressure develops to the southwest of us. It's going to bring moisture in at the surface. And we should start to see some precipitation breaking out during the morning hours. And this will expand toward the north and east as the day progresses. So that's by the time we get into Tuesday morning, this trough deepens just to the south and east of us, bringing a fairly good fetch of moisture up into the central corn belt. High pressure remains over the western United States and the southern plains. That moisture looks like it's going to really hit the eastern 1/3 of the state and points off to the east. The biggest question is how much do we get right now? Half to an inch is most likely in the heavier areas, but we start to see a zonal flow as we go into Wednesday. High pressure stays in control. We're going to warm back up slightly, back up into the 50s as the heavy precipitation moves off to our east. And then for Thanksgiving, we are looking at another trough moving into our region. Looks like it's going to bring the coolest of the air in during the late afternoon hours and push in overnight as high pressure comes into our region. Doesn't look like there's any moisture to work with as the system to our east has robbed that moisture. So basically just a wind frontal passage. We're going to be cooling back down again, back into the 40s, unfortunately. And that will re-intensify as we get into Friday. The coolest of the air will be over the eastern half of the state during the first half of the day, and then the high pressure is going to build back in, and we see a warming trend, rather significant. In fact, if we looked at the 8 to 14 day forecast from next Thursday through the following Tuesday, which is Thanksgiving Day through the following Tuesday, above normal temperatures looks to be in the cards. And in terms of precipitation, a drier than normal precipitation pattern. I will, however, note that the GFS model from some standpoint is starting to push some energy in at the beginning of December across the southern plains, and cutting that off is cut off low and drifts it around. So this may change, but right now it does look like the second half of the Thanksgiving weekend is going to be dry and much more warmth than what we've seen earlier in the week. So overall, not a bad forecast once we get by the rain early next week.